Hey, what's up everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in my vlog series that I do through the Memphis Songwriters Association in conjunction with the blog that I write for them, talking all about songwriting and what has worked for various artists over the course of a handful of years, whether those songs have been hits or not. So this latest kick that I'm on is called That's All Folk. And don't worry about this title, this is now my last vlog. But in this particular one, we are going to talk about folk songs that have inspired other hit songs over the years, mostly through the folk genre. In my blog and vlog kick about cover songs, I mentioned that Dylan went back to songs like Froggy Went A-Courtin' in the early 90s for 2 albums, then about 4 years later released one of his best albums, Time Out of Mind. We're going to take a slightly different approach in this particular blog and vlog kick and talk about these folk songs as well as the songs they later inspired. So we're going to start off with the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond, a Scottish folk song that later inspired Red as the Rose, which is an Irish folk song. So both of these songs have very similar feels to them, discussing a lost love to the backdrop of the Scottish countryside in the case of the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond, and the Irish countryside in the case of Red as the Rose. In the case of the latter song, they parted on yon shady glen on the steep, steep side of Ben Lomond, then paints an even more vivid picture, adding where the soft purple hue, the highland hills we view, and the moon coming out in the gloaming. Well, the Irish tune says, "'Twas down by Killarney's greenwoods that we strayed, where the moon and the stars they were shining. The moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever." At the end of the Scottish tune, it says, "But the broken heart it kens, nay second spring again, though the woeful may cease from their grieving." While the Irish tune in the last verse says, "It's not for the parting that my sister pains, it's not for the grief of my mother, 'tis all for the loss of me bonny Irish lass, that my heart is breaking forever." In other words, the Irish tune sees no end to the grief while the Scottish tune does. The chorus to the Scottish tune says, "You take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond." While the Irish song's chorus says, "Red as the rose that on yonder garden grows, and pure as the lily of the valley, clear as the water that flows from the Boyne, but my love is purer than any." There's a sense of longing and denial and in the Irish tune, and a sense of acceptance towards the situation in the Scottish one. By the way, I just want to throw this out there that I've been told that I sing both of those songs very well, and so it was kind of killing me to not sing those and just say them. So if I stumbled upon them, that might have, or stumbled over them, whatever, that might have been why. But melodically, the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond, in a version by Ella Roberts, uses strings, acoustic guitar, flute, bagpipes, and drums. Chord-wise, E, A, E, A, B, C sharp minor, E, F sharp minor, A, E, C sharp minor, B, and E are used in the verses. With the song written in E major, this is a 1-4-1-4-5-6-1-2-4-1-6-5 progression. The chorus uses the same chords in almost the exact same order, but the F sharp minor and the A are played in reverse, making it a 4-2 progression rather than a 2-4. And instead of going to the C sharp minor in the last line, an A is played, which again is the 4 chord rather than the 6th chord. The instrumental interlude is played over the chorus. It's a beautiful arrangement, but if you do not have all the instruments at your disposal, it sounds good a cappella too. In fact, the High Kings version of Red as the Rose sung to the same tune of the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond is a completely a cappella version. Otherwise, you can use the exact same chords. That's why I didn't throw anything out there for chords with Red as the Rose. So structurally, the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond uses a verse, chorus, instrumental, verse, chorus format. Though, like I said, the song can be sung a cappella, the instrumental interlude is a very effective choice with all the other instruments in there because, like any good story, you always want to put your dagger in last, and building up that tension with the interlude before that dagger is an excellent choice. With that said, Red as the Rose uses the same structure, and at that point, it all comes down to vocal delivery. In other words, rather than making the tension with the instruments and your vocal delivery, you give a heartfelt performance, in this case with some phenomenal harmonies, and that's what sells your retelling, along, of course, with the structure of the tune. So you can listen to the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond and Red as the Rose below. Thank you so much for watching. These are some of my absolute favorite songs, and typically we talk about, like pop songs and things like that. But I almost always close out every single one of my sets with Red as the Rose. Sometimes I'll throw in the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond too. But they're very, very important and influential to me, and I hope they are to you as well. So that is it for this particular video. Make sure you check out all of my other vlogs on YouTube, as well as all of my blogs on the Memphis Songwriters Association website. We're going to continue with this discussion in another video this week that's going to focus on Who's Gonna Buy Your Ribbons When I'm Gone by Paul Clayton, and Don't Think Twice It's Alright by Bob Dylan. So make sure you stay tuned for those. Again, I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.